Hello world, welcome to Stuff and Things. It's September, so that means the Onslaught update should be dropping in Champions Online anytime now. Personally, I think it's going to be awesome. I don't really care about a villain faction. I don't need developers telling me how to play pretend. I can do that all on my own. What's even really cool is that they seem to be making this so that it has a lot of future expansion possibilities. There's only 3 villains that we know about that can be turned into, and they even have a whole bunch of powers you can get in the game. Not in a lockbox, but you beat the crap out of each other to get these powers, which is kind of cool. Although I do wish Cryptic would open up the public test servers for everyone, since it would be much better testing than just having the same 50 people that always show up to these things. I can't imagine that's a very good sample size, and I'm sure that there's a heck of a lot more than 50 people that play Champions Online. They've actually been listening to a lot of the player feedback in the forums. Hopefully they listen to the part where people are asking for Onslaught gear to not be essentially an equivalent or in some cases direct upgrade. That would make me sad that Cryptic spent all that money making this content only to just completely ignore it with this new update. I know it's the cool thing that all the MMOs have to do it. They release new stuff and like all the other content is just complete crap now and no one wants to play it. And players are magically like 50,000 times more powerful with the crappiest stuff from the new set. But it's kind of disappointing. I mean, I have a very hard time going back to games where they do that all the time. It's like I go to a zone, it's like this zone used to be full of people and now it's completely dead. And this game has a pretty good population, so what happened? Oh, that's right, they released a new expansion, so all of the uber awesome, legendary, unique, magic, super duper rare stuff that you had before is now completely garbage because it was replaced by some crappy green piece of gear that you found in the auction house for dirt cheap. That's how that goes, and it's sad. With the Onslaught update is going to be the cooldown reduction nerf. Well, part of it I'm absolutely 100% for. It is crazy that you can get 40 or more percent cooldown reduction with 10 intelligence, heroics, rank 5 mods, and your purple secondary. Absolutely no real investment needed. You don't even have to invest at all in the stat that is supposed to be for governing cooldown reduction. But they're also going to nerf the cooldown reduction you get from intelligence, which that doesn't make sense. And frankly, that I think that's the problem with most super stats, is they're not worth stacking. Why in the world would you want to have a ton of dexterity when you can get pretty good critical hit chance with just 10? I think that's why Constitution is such a desirable stat. Not just because of Juggernaut, because it's actually worth stacking where other stats aren't. So I just don't understand why they would nerf intelligence. It seems a little heavy-handed. So that's the part I'm not sold on. Gear, yes, it needed the nerf. The intelligence set itself, I mean, intelligence primary is still going to be really nice. So it's just sad that the reason why, like, the things that stats are supposed to do is not worth stacking for, because you can get it somewhere else a lot easier. Why would you stack crit chance and dexterity when you can get it so much easier by stacking con? Why would you stack intelligence for cooldown reduction when you can get the same stuff from gear now? The cooldown reduction you got from gear always seemed to scale better than what you could get from intelligence, and now it's just gonna be exactly the same, except that they both suck now. Ultimately, I don't see it being a big deal. I don't think it's gonna like completely destroy like a decent build. I know there's gonna be some crazy ass builds that had tons of cooldown reduction and they're gonna be affected, but I just don't care if people can rotate active defenses or active offenses. I think that's ridiculous. And if they can't do that anymore, I don't care. If people can't abuse the crap out of strafing run anymore, I really don't care. If rimfire builds do like half damage, I don't care, because they're still doing ridiculous amounts of damage even at half damage. I mean, sorry, but I don't care about those things. And if your build is not like ridiculously overpowered anymore, and it's only slightly overpowered, I don't see that as a big deal. I just don't like that the stat for cooldown reduction isn't really helping you if you stack the crap out of it. I mean, isn't that the whole point. You stack the crap out of a certain stat because you want what the stat's supposed to give you, but instead you stack the crap out of a stat for the things other things give you because of that stat. I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. It's funny that I finally decided to roll the Grimoire for my next AT review, and I had to stop. The cooldown reduction nerf hasn't gone live yet, so I don't think it's fair for me to level this up before the nerf, considering it has quite a few powers on cooldown. It has all those stupid sigils, which I hate them, so I already know I'm not going to be terribly thrilled with this character build. But that's just like my own personal thing. But they do have cooldowns, and the first one you get is your main area of effect ability, so if it has a long cooldown, it might really super suck to level just because of that long cooldown. I think the cooldowns will probably effectively double. I mean, I have no doubt that Intelligence Primary with Aura of Primal Majesty is still going to be really nice, but it's just those cooldowns that I'm worried about that will make the leveling experience really suck. It might even make the level 40 experience really suck. So I'm pretty much putting that on hold until after the cooldown reduction nerf goes live, and maybe even after I play around with Onslaught, because I'm probably going to want to do that and not be leveling the Grim. The last thing that I'm excited about is my new graphics card, and the best part of my new graphics card is how much cooler it runs than my old graphics card, which is amazing, because I live in an area that's already hot and I don't need to have all the extra heat spewing out into my room. Maybe if I live in a really cool place, I'd be thrilled that my computer was heating my entire house. Anyway, so basically I've been going into like every other game and changing all the graphics settings and then playing them. I have an Nvidia card now, and it has that stupid shadow play thing, which I haven't tried, and I'm not going to try it until they fix that horrible overlay that's in there now. With Afterburner, I have the time and the frame rate, and when I'm actually recording, it shows like how big the file is and, you know, the counter of how long. But it's nice. It's big enough to be readable, but it's not like giant, obnoxious, huge, massive font size. Shadowplay, on the other hand, they don't have a timer option, so I can't have the time show up in the corner, which sucks. And they have these obnoxiously large green letters for how much FPS I have. I don't even want to see that. It's just massive. I think the Shadowplay frame rate is bigger than the 3 lines Afterburner uses. It's like ridiculous, so I can't use that. I don't know if it shows up during recording either. I'm assuming it doesn't, because if I can use Afterburner and none of that shows up when I record, then I'm hoping Nvidia can do the same thing. I mean, it's still in beta, so it might change. If they fix that horrible UI overlay crap, then I'll probably try it. But until then, not a chance. I know I'm shallow like that, but I can't stand those horrible giant green letters, and I do want to be able to see my frame. When I'm recording, it's kind of important so I can see if bad things are happening. If my frame rate is tanking, then it's probably not a good time to be recording, because it'll look like crap.